Okay, let's go.
Hey Chick Chatters, we're back again with the guys. It's guys' night. We have another story for them. This is another Am I the Asshole? And it's Am I the Asshole for demolishing my daughter's room after she moved out? It says, my 18-year-old daughter, Meg, is in college. She moved in with her boyfriend a few months ago, which left her old room empty. Her bedroom used to be right next to our living room, and our living room was tiny. So to make it into a normal-sized living room, we knocked out my daughter's room walls, refloored the space, and fixed the walls. So now it looks like the bedroom was never there, and that now we have this spacious, large living room. When my daughter came home for a visit and saw that her room was gone, she made a huge deal about it. She got all emotional and said if we never wanted to let her move back, we should have just said so instead of completely demolishing her room. I told her that if anything happens that she needs to move back, she's still very much welcome and she could sleep on the couch for as long as she wants. But she accused us of wanting to get rid of her forever and for her to never visit us since we got rid of her room so fast, only a few months after she moved out, and we could have waited longer. Am I the asshole for not waiting longer?
No, her parents aren't the assholes because she's 18. She moved out. Hey, good luck out there. We're here if you need us. But she wasn't paying rent. She didn't have any real rights to the house. If her parents had let her know and then she would have said something cool, but she can be upset as she wants, but no, she's being an asshole for being upset.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Like, I agree with what Dean said. 18, she moved out. It's your parents' house. Like, their parents can do whatever they want with their house. It's their house. But then it's just kind of sad. You know, you move out. Like, that's the room that, like, you grew up in, you know? And now it's just, like, not there anymore. So I can definitely see why she's sad. But, yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm kind of torn on this. It's a situation. And I think the parents maybe should have, like, asked her if it was okay. It doesn't sound like they asked her. Like, not that it would matter anyways if they really
Or even gave her any notice.
Yeah, it's just, she just comes home and her room's gone.
I kind of feel the way that you feel.
Yeah.
I don't think that the parents are the assholes here, but I think that the daughter's emotions are valid. Like, if you've grown up in that room, I don't know. To me, I moved a lot, so I didn't have an attachment to, like, one single bedroom, but I know you...
Yeah, I did.
He lived in a house from birth until he moved out, you know, when he was ready to move out. So if I could imagine if he came home and that was just
during my
demolished
first semester of college, and
with
just
no
like my
notice.
room's gone, like I'd be like, okay, I realize this is your house, you can do whatever you want, but like also kind of you just destroyed my room.
But the parents have every right to do that.
Yeah.
They truly do. It's their assets, it's their home. They're the ones living there at this point. The daughter, you know, she's not living there anymore. And the dad said exactly what he needs to say. You're more than welcome always to come back home. It's not even about that.
To sleep on the couch though.
Well, yeah, you're going to come home when you're 18 years old and you're going to sleep on the couch. We're not going to make it comfy for you to live here for 75 years. I don't know. I don't know. It's sticky.
Yeah. The funny thing is this actually happened to me.
Oh, really?
The first time I moved out, I was maybe only moved out for like a couple months, and it was with Carly and another one of our old friends. It didn't last but 3 months, but I went home to do laundry, and my room turned into another family living room. They didn't like knock down walls or anything, but everything was repainted. There was furniture. There was a TV in there. It was completely redone, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, what if it doesn't work out, y'all? Right. And it didn't work out. I ended up having to move back in, and I moved out several times. I'm one of the only people, I think, that lived in every single room in that house besides my parents' room. But I literally lived in the living room and the basement, and ever since then, because whenever I'd move back in, I'd get a different room. So I've been through that. She probably will at some point move back in and sleep on the couch, and that is what it is. I don't think I ever said anything to them about it other than, oh, wow, that was fast. Like, what if I move back in? And they're like, well, figure it out. Parents are in their rights to make their home comfortable for them. They don't have to hold on to stuff just because you decided that you might come back. It is what it is. I do remember feeling away for a little while. Wow, I feel like so replaced. It's definitely a hard thing to see like your room gone. Then when I did move back in, found a different space, you just figure it out.
If you're moving back home, it's going to be a temporary thing anyways. I don't think after 18 you're moving back home to live there for the rest of your life. So I mean, whenever you live anywhere temporarily, you might be living on the couch.
Yeah, so it's like every time I go home, I go visit my parents. I still had brothers and sisters still living there for a while. They moved out and got their own place. They moved back in. It was the family house. Yes, it's nice to have a room to come back to, but you're not entitled to that room specifically because at some point in time in life, yeah, in this day and age, it's a little later on in life where you can spread your wings and actually buy your first house because of real property. That's a whole different story for another day. But you have to move on eventually. I was going to Korea. I was all the way overseas. I get stationed back in Texas, and then I go back to the house. My sister's room is now an office. The guest room is another office. The den is now a workout space. So things change. Nothing's going to stay the same. Your parents are not going to wait on you. They might say, "Hey, we're not going to touch your room. Maybe as a memory thing. Anytime you need a place, you can come back." But you're not entitled to that. At some point in time, you got to move out, live your life. You're going to own your own things, and you're going to start thinking in that process, in that same mindset. Because when we get older, 50s, 60s, whatever, you might want to travel, so you sell your house. Then guess what? Your kids, why you sell the house?
Yeah.
Where am I going to say if something don't work out? Well, you're an adult now.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out, just like we had to figure it out.
She's 18, so I can see she's still young, so she really might need to bounce back a couple times. But at my age 30, like, no, I could never ask my parents to save me a room at 30 years old in case this doesn't work out.
Yeah, I don't think the parents were the asshole. They were maybe a little insensitive, not informing her. I don't think even asking her is a necessity. They don't need her permission, but just letting her know, like, hey, next weekend, your room is no longer your room. If you want to take a picture of it, if you want to come visit, like, whatever. I mean, you
want to have a last moment.
At least she would know that that's what's happening. I can see walking in the house and having some big emotions about your room being no longer.
It's like a little bit of common courtesy would have maybe changed it a little bit.
Just a topic of conversation. Like, yeah, we got this. We're tearing down the room and we're tearing down the wall. We're extending the family room, regardless how she reacted. Right. They could have took her feelings into consideration then, but until she started paying rent there.
Yeah, like when it happened to me, like I said, that was the only thing that really annoyed me was just that nobody told me. Like before I got there, I was just kind of like, okay, well, thanks for the heads up. It's kind of weird just to walk in and see your room like completely gone, especially when you just moved out, like just months. Like you don't know if this is really going to work out. Things are kind of shaky. You probably still kind of miss home a little bit. So it's just weird that your home has just abruptly changed the moment you left.
To go home and have your space not be there anymore.
Yeah, and you're 18. It's different at 30, but at like 18.
Yeah, you're still young at 18. Like you just moved out. It's kind of something like they had this plan because she was only gone for a couple months. Sounds like maybe like the first semester and came back and already had all this done. Like they've been waiting to break this wall out for a minute.
I
sounds
think
like
is a little bit funny too. Is like it almost seems as if it was like a secret. Like I feel like if you're a parent and you have regular communication with your child, whether they live in your house or not, you kind of have to go out of your way to not let them know that you're having an entire renovation done to your house.
Involves the room that they grew up in.
It's probably the first thing that my mom would tell me if she was having, even if it had nothing to do with I've never lived in the house that my mom lives in now, but if she was getting renovations done, we would be talking about it. That's just it. So it seems a little bit sus that she had no idea, actually.
And then, so you think like, why didn't tell her? Well, because she's going to be upset. So the parents didn't want to tell her; they just wanted to do it.
And another thing too is she moved out to be with a boyfriend at 18. Like, do you really think this relationship is so stable that she's not going to be coming right back? She might be coming right back. Like, maybe just hold off on the room for like maybe another year, just to make sure, because relationships at 18 are totally different than when you're older.
Sticky situation, I think, but ultimately the parents are not assholes. They're maybe a little insensitive, maybe a little sneaky, but they can do what they want to do with their house.
Yep.
So the funny thing is, though, it was voted that they are the asshole, and the top comment, 58K upvotes, says, "You're the asshole. Is it hard to talk with your own kid before doing something drastic? Not even a warning? That's cold. Edit, this sub isn't do I legally have the right? Obviously, they have the legal right as the owner. It's just, yes,
Yeah.
you're the asshole.
I can't argue with that either. I mean, right away, that's kind of where we went, right? It was like,
Yeah,
she
it's like-
doesn't pay rent, but
They have just because they have the right doesn't mean it's not a dick move.
Yeah.
it's insensitive. I guess if you want to
kinda-
call that an asshole.
that's my take on it. That's my thought.
The one other thing we can't really assume is we don't know what their family situation was. Maybe she was like, "Oh, when I'm 18, I'm leaving this place." Yada yada. We don't know that whole situation
Right.
because
I'm
she
moving out
made
with
the
my
choice.
boyfriend. I don't need you anymore.
He
Something
ultimately
like that.
made the choice to do it. Knowing in this day and age, and I know at some point in time she realized that, oh, this isn't going to work out. She ultimately made the choice to go. If her parents had that discussion with her, like, hey, you're 18, are you sure you want to move out? Or did they just willy-nilly be like, yeah, bye?
Sometimes knowing your parents want to do something with their house, like they've probably talked about it before in the past, like, oh, when you move out, we're going to knock this wall out and we're going to do this. You know, I'm sure
That's
they
what I
might have
mean.
talked about it before.
I think they
Yeah.
had to have gone out of their way not to bring it up. To me, that does sound a little suspect. And I don't know. I guess if asshole means are you wrong, I don't think that they're wrong. But if asshole means that they're insensitive, I would say yes.
I think it's wishy-washy for me.
Yeah,
personally.
this is probably the one that I've probably been most on the fence with out of all the ones that I've heard.
Yeah, define asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Somebody commented under that and they said, yeah, moving out for college is a major life change that is already really hard to adjust to. And taking away her one space of familiarity without at least talking to her first was wrong. And no, the couch is not an adequate replacement for her room being gone in case you needed that clarified. When you're young, sometimes that's where you end up anyway. And I still sleep on the couch.
I had a whole room, and now it's gone. But it'd be a nice couch. That's all I gotta say.
The couch is a
Wow.
comfortable place. Yeah. They just tore down this wall. It's probably a huge couch now. Couch probably better than the bed.
And
She could set up a little area in her former room.
Maybe they just wanted to destroy your room.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't want her to come back.
Right.
I'm just kidding, but maybe that was part of it. But yeah, that's it for that story. Anything to add?
No, that's it.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Hopefully you come back again.
We'll think about it.
All right. Well, this is the end of Guys' Night.
Bye.
Bye.